The secret formula that I discuss in this video will be yours for the next few months, and it's only 3 parts long, so keep watching to find out how I went from C's to A stars using this very same formula and how you can. So the first part is understanding the basics. This is the bread and butter when it comes to mocks or doing actual exams, and when doing questions, a solid foundation allows you to flourish and get those marks really easily. But what are the best ways to do this? Well, above me I have a series of common revision tips that everyone uses, and I'll sort them out into 2 categories, the ones that are very effective and the ones that aren't so effective. I have some videos on these techniques already, so feel free to check them out, link down in the description below. But let's sort these out. Ultimately, there are some that are just much better when it comes to having an understanding, even if you're just starting from scratch. So pick the ones you use very carefully. So the second part in this secret formula is known as fine-tuning the details. Alright, so you know the basics and can spin off a few facts and figures if someone asks. But picture this, you go to do a question thinking you know how to answer it, and then bam, all of a sudden you can't do it. You eventually give it in and find out you got 0 marks on something that you thought you knew. This is where the second part of the formula comes in. If you asked me a year ago, I would have just been fine-tuning details by watching more videos or doing flashcards, but you need to go in hot. Let's say you know the bare bones of most topics, then go in and do that big 1 hour plus past paper. Yes, this one. The questions you can or can't do will just tell you what you need to go back over and what questions just require another way of approaching them. I used to be too scared of doing past papers because I thought if I did them and then redid them, I would have wasted it and remembered the question, and then there was no point of ever doing it. But honestly, after having done so many questions in one cycle of doing past papers, you'll find out that half the time you just forget the question that you originally did or the one that originally stumped you. So even if you go back over it, it won't be the end of the world. Even if you go back over it the next day, screw it, just do the past paper, redo the question again. But the key thing in fine-tuning the details that most people seem to miss, and something I always missed as well, is after you do the past paper, if there are things that you don't understand, then go and ask your teacher on how to solve them, or just another member of staff or someone that you know really well, or you could even ask online, because honestly, if you don't understand even after you mark the question, then there's no point of doing it. So the last part of this secret formula is exam technique. Without this last step, you'll never be able to get an A star on your subjects, and that is to hone in on your exam technique. You may have heard of the word before, but essentially exam technique is how you approach the paper, do it, and then ensure you get the most marks possible. And that includes not overwriting for those 1 or 2 markers, which I'm so guilty of, but also adding clarity to the big 5 and 6 markers, which will probably add to your paper and overall get you even more marks than you need. And in this last section, I will be guiding you through and make sure you get all the marks possible. So after a while, when you've done loads of questions, understood where you went wrong, and then redone them, you'll come to a point where you don't really know how to get those last few marks. And you will just try and overlearn the content to fill your gaps. But this is where, for the first time ever, you don't need to study more and instead be clever with the way you answer questions. Signpost answers, make them obvious with the information needed, cut the waffle, and only write as much as necessary. This last step will allow you to have the potential to get those A stars, which there is no reason why you can't. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, then click the one above me, because honestly, you'll enjoy that even more. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you with a brand new video next week. Bye for now.